Hi everybody, in this video we're going to look at Illustrator for the first time. And Illustrator is a program, it's an Adobe program, which deals with vector-based graphics, which means anything you make in this program will not be pixelated. So I can zoom in as close as I want or zoom out as close as I want. I will never lose any resolution. So because of that, graphic designers like to use it, and it's a great place to start with logo design. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to create new, and I'm just going to create, it doesn't matter the size here. Okay, so I'm just going to close out the tour. You're welcome to take it yourself. So first of all, let's take a look at some of the shapes. So I have a rectangle tool. If I hold it down, there's some other tools in here. So I'm just going to take the rectangle tool, and I'm going to drag out a rectangle. Now, I know that this rectangle is filled white and has a black outline. Now it might look blue, but if I select off of this, you can see it's a black outline. And the reason I know that it's filled white is because here I see a white fill and a black stroke, which is the outline. Okay, so I can move this around with my black arrow, and I just want to change the color. And there's no real fill bucket in Illustrator. You're just going to pick a color as it's selected. Just select the shape. My colors are over here, and I can just click a color, and it'll just automatically fill that shape, that color. So once I choose a color, what if I want to change the stroke color? Well, over here, if I click on the stroke, I can bring it to the foreground. I think you can see that. And now I can change the color of the stroke. Now again, it's a little difficult to see because my selection is in the way, but there, if I click off of it temporarily, you can see that it is now stroke colored in red. What if that stroke is too thin and I want it a little bit thicker? Well, over here, there's these lines are stroke, and I can bring the weight up. But notice that it's not working, and it's because I'm not selected on the shape. So I need to take that black arrow again and select on the shape. And you can see now I can bring up the size of that stroke. So if you ever see something not working, it usually means that the shape is not selected. Okay, so now that I have this, let's take a look at these two arrows right here. We have a black arrow called the selection tool, and we have a white arrow called the direct selection tool. So the black arrow, and I'm just going to temporarily maybe say none to the stroke color, and I always like to keep the fill color up front here. So the none is this, and I'll just clear out the color just so we can see it a little bit better. I'll zoom in. The black arrow, when I select, there's a little bounding box which I could change the shape, or if I just scroll a little bit away from the edge here, the corner, I could rotate this. If I hold shift, it'll rotate in 30-degree increments. Okay, so I can move a shape around with the black arrow and scale and rotate. If I select the white arrow, now that's a little different. It looks kind of the same, but now we're seeing these anchor points. I can still move the shape around by grabbing it. However, there's no bounding box. Instead, we have anchors. And when I click on an anchor, you'll notice that it's filled in blue, and the others are not. I can click the anchor and then grab it and change the shape. I can click an anchor and drag it and change the shape. If I click in the center someplace, all of the anchors will be filled in and I move it as one. Now, can I select multiple anchors at the same time? Of course. I can click on one of them, hold shift, and click on another, and now I have these two selected, but these are not selected, and when I move it, you can see those two are moving together, which is kind of the same as moving this whole edge here. That's the difference between the black and the white arrow. Now what if I wanted to make a new shape? I'm going to create an ellipse. Just a circle. I can hold shift while I make it. I'm going to change the fill color to something different. And now you can see that this is on top of this. Now there are layers in Illustrator, and I believe they're here. This is the layers panel. But everything's on the same layer. If I drop this down, you can see what's on this layer. These can be moved around, so I could move this above this one here. You can see the little previews. Or there's another way. If I wanted this below this one, I could take this shape and go up to Object, Arrange, Send to Back, or Send Backwards. And when I send it backwards, you can see now this shape is in front of this one. I'm using the black arrow. I can just drag select both at the same time to move them. Typically when I'm moving something around, I'll be using the black arrow, and when I'm editing a little bit more, I'll use the white arrow. If I had another shape, let's do one more. We'll just make a star here, and I'll change this color. There's a few ways of changing color. I can go to the swatches, I can go double click the fill here. There's a few different ways. Okay, so now I have, with the black arrow, just move it. I have these three shapes. What if I wanted the star to be in between? Well, Object, Arrange, Send Backward, right? If I wanted this to be all the way up front, I can go Object, Arrange, Bring to Front, instead of going Bring Forward and Bring Forward 2 times in a row. Okay, so this is just a little beginning tutorial on the white and the black arrow, getting to know the space a bit, and moving objects around. Good luck, and give it a try.